Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fangirlz Assemble. We've assembled at a regular time.
We're doing it.
That won't happen next week, but it will happen today.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Our next show will be on Tuesday. Next Sunday, I will not be able to do a show then because I will be in Kristan's neck of the woods.
Hey.
An undisclosed location, off the grid. You know,
in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, in the woods.
Yeah,
that's where we hang out. We should do a cabin. I would love to do a cabin weekend though with you. I think that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Yeah,
and
we're so close weekend. To like Tennessee, you know.
Oh yeah,
there's tons of lovely things like that.
Yeah,
let's go.
Well, anyways, hello everybody. We're here. But before we talk about the book we're talking about, which you can purchase on In-Stock Trade, let's talk about our sponsor, InStockTrades.com.
What's that?
Well, it is a lovely website where you can get all of your favorite collected editions up to 50% off, sometimes more, a lot of times more.
Wow.
And if you spend $50, that's right, 5 tens USD in the United States, you get free shipping. And if you don't,
incredible.
$4. I mean, not about the US, but if you're in the US and you don't spend a whole $50, $4 flat rate shipping, fantastic shipping, wonderfully packaged, so worth it for those deals.
I know we talk about it all the time, but so many websites have upped their free shipping threshold. I don't know a single one that's at 50.
No, In-Stock Trades is still doing it.
They're like, we got you. We're keeping it at 50.
Worry.
And I love that.
You know, I can't depend on a lot of things in life, but I can depend on them.
That's all that matters. Yeah, absolutely.
And you can purchase our book today that we're reading. Peacemaker Tries Hard. Look at that.
You can get it there. Nice little hardcover.
Yeah, and you know I hate dust jackets, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, but I will take the dust jacket off as I'm showing it. But by our friend and Meyer celebrity, Kyle Starks. Look at that.
We love an under dust jacket cover change. You know,
I knew you'd treat us right.
Yeah,
you know,
it's perfect.
Us personally, he was like, I need to make sure this is good for Maddie and Kristan. I'm sure that's what he said.
Right.
Ellie and I have been joking because we always call him Meyer celebrities Kyle Starks. Every time LexCon announces he's coming, I'm like, oh my god, Meyer celebrity Kyle Starks, without fail. But with the movie deal, is he going to be major celebrity Kyle Starks? What do we do? Oh, Alex, I'm telling you right now.
All those covers are so good.
Oh, they're so good.
The covers throughout, yeah.
So when Peacemaker, the character, when I saw him in Suicide Squad, I was like, I hate this man. That was my first thought. And then I watched the show, and I was like, okay, I get it. And then I read this comic book, and I was like, Kyle delivered exactly what I want in a character, which is big and dumb and weirdly wholesome. He says the wrong thing. He does the wrong things a lot. But, you know, he's so weirdly wholesome, but in the silliest way, where he just wants people to come over his party. And that's not working because they're like, man, last time we were there, he showed us his VHS, his porn VHSs that they found in a box in the woods. It's so weird. But he just genuinely was like, I just want some friends over. And he just doesn't know how to do it. Not that that's the whole premise, but there is a thing at the underlying deal where he does have a party coming up for his birthday. He'd like some people to come over.
It is the perfect mix of the action you want from that character and caring about that character with the humanity aspect, which I feel like Kyle always delivers, especially with the dialogue, which is consistently just hilarious and wonderful.
Oh, I mean, I laughed so hard reading this book, and I took my time with it because I would read a page, and I was like, Elliot, you won't believe what he said now, and I'd read out the dialogue. I did this every 4 pages. I was like, oh my god, you're not gonna believe what they said this time, and just continuously, because this killed me. DC did so right by getting Kyle because, I'm not saying because I know him. This was so good. This was my humor in a nutshell. Oh my god, it's so good.
It's so good. And that's the show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You should read it.
No. But yeah, so the premise of this, like, we see Peacemaker at the beginning. He's prepping for a party. He gets called by Amanda Waller to take care of a mission, which already is so funny because he's like, hey, Suicide Squad there? And they're like, do not tell him. Do not tell him we're here. He's so weird. And he's like, oh man, bummer. Like, I'm having to get together. But, you know, that's fine, you know? And he goes on this mission, beats up some guys, and ends up adopting the cutest little dog that he names Bruce Wayne, because it looks like he's wearing a little tuxedo, which leads to so many great jokes, so many great bits.
So many great Bruce Wayne jokes.
Oh my God, which we have to talk about. And a lot of this after is just him trying to, like, immediately he has to go back to the store to get some like extra supplies because he didn't realize you need other stuff to make cake besides the cake mix. Because my man is big brain.
He's like, this says instant cake. Like,
you just add water. He's like, no, dumbass. We'll have to. I'm gonna curse with this one because I feel like it's required. You need eggs and oil in a pan. He's like, oh man. And lady at the store's like, I hope you're as good as making peas as you are at making lists. Or I hope you're better at making peas than you are at making lists, or else we're screwed.
I love that store lady. She's so funny.
I love that she came to the party. I'm so happy.
A spoiler, Maddie, but okay.
Sorry, she comes to the party. But he gets home and Bruce Wayne has been kidnapped. And so a lot of the story is about him trying to get Bruce Wayne, the dog, back. Which is great. He is kidnapped by the Brain and the Gorilla. I always forget their names. They're like they're very common DC villain.
I mean, the Brain is right.
Yeah, it's the Brain and
the Brain.
What's his name? Mula.
Something up.
It's probably Mula. But he's like this French gorilla. And they're always a weird one. People make fun of them a lot. Like when there is a parody kind of DC show, they always make fun of them for being like lovers or something. It's always a very interesting kind of funny dynamic, but they're like, hey, we need you to steal some of Deathstroke's DNA and we'll give you your dog back. It's like, when we need you to do it. And so he's so sad, Peacemaker, that he's like, you need me? Well, okay. And at first, sorry, now I'm doing the thing where I just like say what happens. But I loved this little back and forth. I loved him hanging out with the gorilla. And I loved when they were becoming friends. And I was devastated when he was betrayed. Yeah. I was so sad. Because he's like, oh, man, you like my music? Oh, right on, man. You want to come to my party? And the girl is like, yeah. He's like, oh, man. Yeah.
Just the saddest day. I love that line of plot throughout it, though, where you do care about anytime he asks someone to go to the party. You're like, is anyone going to show up to this party?
I know. And
this is going to end on a party. I'm going to be very concerned about his well-being.
I'm so worried about him because somebody finally said yes. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
They shot him back like, no, this idiot. I can speak English. I just didn't want to talk to you. I'm like, no.
Very upsetting.
Doesn't get his dog back either from them. So he's like, keep going at it.
Yeah, it's consistently like you worry about the dog throughout too. Like, what's happening to this dog? There's a point with a bag of kittens, and you're like, oh no. And by you're like at me, I was like, oh no, please save the kittens. I'm very upset.
That chapter was so good because you meet this like super villain okay, every villain in here is so funny. You meet this super villain organization where they're just called the Demolition Team, and they're very much like your regular, like, they don't look any different. But the description is supervillain construction team, evil laborers, but good union folk. Their dues are always up to date. So they are supervillains, and literally they're trying to like use their things on kids. But they also like listen to union standards like OSHA compliance and stuff like that. So like they're fighting a guy with like a jackhammer, but at the same time, this guy's taking his lunch break. And they're like, hey, no, he's getting choked to death. He's like, hey, I get a mandated 30-minute break every 4 hours. You got a problem with it? You take it with the union steward. Like, this little bit is so good. And whenever they fight, they have really silly things like collisioned or eat it, dummy, or like just
the little action words. Yeah.
Oh
those
my
are great.
gosh. It's so good. And then you get these little sad moments of his backstory with his dad, which they never show his face, but they show how like mean he is, because that's like part of his character is like, I mean, his dad was a super awful racist, like super villain. They don't go into that in here, but that's like the backstory. And he was really mean to him, and so he never really learned anything. It's just him and his dad, and him trying to do the right things. He's like, yeah, I fight for peace, and I'll kill somebody to get it. Like, that's what I do. And he never had someone to really be there for him. And he's just always looking for that approval.
It's again, like every other page, it's like, oh, here's a great action moment that like you would pick this up, and you as in like the average, perhaps.
Yeah, people who care about comic book action sequences.
Yeah. But then they're going to care. I mean, that's the best part of Kyle's work. You have this like underlying heart and this hilarious dialogue. And you're going to care more than you think you're going to care.
Yeah, because I feel like, Kyle's one of those who can write a character like that. That's really just like masculine to the extreme, like naivete, right, to the extreme. Like, and all of these extreme extremities that feel just so comical, but are still even just like weirdly heart-wrenching. Like talking to the guys in the bar, and the guy's like, "Are you crying, boy? Superheroes don't cry." And he's like, "Everyone cries, damn it." Sweet man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the action sequences are really cool, and I don't care much about for action fighting sequences. I'm never one to really get into that part of comic books, but luckily this was also written for people like us. So we have just at least silly jokes in here, like workplace accident, like that kind of like.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I also don't care about any of that. I'm much more like, I'm very, I need the character. I need to care about the character, which you have that throughout the whole thing. So like these little action bits as well, it just adds to everything. And I don't find myself being annoyed by that either, because sometimes I'll read like a big 2 comic and I'm like, I don't care, you're fighting. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. But yeah, it's consistently funny. There's always something going on that catches your attention, and I was never once bored throughout the whole thing.
And we also have like a little, I guess, side characters to Peacemaker in this, which are ones that I haven't been used to before. One of them is this parole officer working for Amanda Waller, who used to be a superhero called the Red Bee. So he has bees. He has one bee in particular, Michael. That's his friend. He's got some trauma from the war and stuff. But he's kind of still there for Peacemaker, even though he's mad. And I'm like, Peacemaker crosses state lines. He shows up and like, hey, I gotta take you back to Belle Rev. And he's like, man, no. It's like they fight each other, and he's really good, even though he's an older man. He's like, they took my dog. And like, well, no, we gotta go save your dog. Like immediately, it's like, yeah, that's fair.
He was wonderful. I loved him.
Oh,
and Michael.
Oh,
I loved Michael.
I love Michael the bee.
I didn't think I'd care so much about a bee, And
it's great because we have Richard the Red Bee with this like very flamboyant outfit. I assume that he probably is a real character from DC. I have no idea, but it feels like he fought the Nazis in this like blouse, as he calls it. It's just very, very cute. And then they team up with this other older man that used to be Red Bee's pilot, who was like a little kid when they worked together before, and now he's just this like old man who has no idea what's going on, really, who's a pilot. Who they're like, does he have dementia? Like he's always looking the wrong way, has no idea what's happening, which is a perfect addition to this.
Yeah, group. Another quirky side character.
But we do have to talk about the best page ever, which is when he calls Amanda Waller because he needs help finding the brain space. And he says, but Bruce Wayne's been kidnapped. And she starts freaking out. She's like, call the task force. Forget what we're doing. We need to take care of this. And she's like, how do you even know him? How do you know he was kidnapped? She's like, oh, I met him the other day on that mission. He was at my home when he was abducted. And she's like, what do you mean? He was at your house? What was he doing? Eating beanie weenies, chilling out, being adorable. She's like, beanie weenies? Are we sure we're talking about the same Bruce Wayne? Can you describe him? What was he wearing? He's a fancy boy, very handsome, perfect little nose, looks like he's wearing a nice suit. And she's like, that's definitely him.
Yeah, that was like the best line.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, he's like, yeah, let's get my dog back. And she almost decides to blow him up because she's so frustrated. Like, what a sweet baby boy. What a prince among men. That's really, I just love big dumb guys. Frankie's my favorite character in One Piece. That there's a reason, but I'm like, this guy, he checks off all my boxes. I love him.
He's doing his best, you know. He's just doing his best.
He doesn't know that he's dumb. You know, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know better.
He doesn't know any better.
His dad sucked.
He was really mean to him. He just says what's on his mind. He has no filter. He's just doing his best. No big deal. Oh, it's so good. They fight some cocaine-powered supervillain. You know, that's something that happened.
That was a good time.
Okay. I'm going to talk about Teen... Sorry, I'm just jumping all over. I'm just excited to talk about this. So let me know if I'm just, like, talking
Let's
over
go.
stuff.
Yeah.
When they get to the Deathstroke clones... and we meet
the babies.
Teen Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, oh my God, it's Deathstroke. We're all going to die. And he's like, I'm not Deathstroke. I'm Teen Deathstroke. And it's great because he's just like, well, yeah, the brain is like not even my real dad. So they're fighting. They're having this like big, like typical Deathstroke fight. But the whole time he's like, he's not even my real dad. And he says he'd be the best assassin, but like, that's so much pressure. And he's always like ragging on me. And I'm a human being. And I have feelings and I have needs. It's perfect because Peacemaker would be like, oh man, I know it's like have a shitty dad. And they like talk about it and have this really nice moment. He's like, yeah, I just want to dance and play video games. He's like, then dance and play video games. Maybe I will. Good. You'll be happy. You deserve it. Whatever.
And then you see that he was dancing. Just great.
Just go. Like, I'm so happy for him. It's so good. Oh.
When they saw the Deathstroke babies, and the guy was like, don't wake up the Deathstroke babies. Do not wake up. And the Peacemaker's like, what'd you say? And he's like, you woke up the Deathstroke babies. And all these babies, they had to fight the babies, and they were very upset about it, which is hilarious.
Oh, it's so good. And yeah, the whole like, you know, end of this like action sequence where you get a lot of like the Red Bee dealing with his trauma because he sees the same machine that killed his guys back in the war that he hasn't, you know, gotten over. And him trying to fight the brain and do all this stuff where there's still like goofy things happening. I mean, there's a lot of like just trauma in there and like what they're dealing with. It's really like, oh, it's so good. It's such a good mix of just like really funny and goofy. And then just really sad stuff.
Yeah. Again, it's like I feel like people who aren't familiar with Kyle, who would just well, I can't even say maybe they've seen the TV show because I still haven't. So I don't know what you're getting from the TV show, honestly, that you can expect from this book. But if you're just like, maybe you haven't even seen the show and you're interested in the character, you see a dog on the cover, you're like, I love dogs. And you grab it. Like, I feel like it's just anyone who just picks it up at like some comic shop who doesn't know better.
You're gonna love it.
You know, it's again more heart, and you care more than you think you're gonna care. And I love that. Like,
because I really like the show a lot. I thought it was a lot more than I was expecting from it. But there is ways in that show like goes to extremities in a way that I don't think are as funny. You know, like there's only so many like dick jokes you can make, right? I think it's very funny, but I think there is like, I don't know, I guess like the boys' territory in some ways. This does it rides the line so well. It balances so well. It doesn't lean too heavily on anything. Like it's just the comedic timing is so well done. That's the difference between like a truly like great comedic work and like maybe like a Seth Rogen movie. And again, I like Seth Rogen, but sometimes the jokes don't really land.
Sure. Yeah.
But this is like the perfect balance for what I like in a book, which is the right amount of like silliness and heart to max everything else. And it ends with the party.
It's the best. It has a perfect ending.
It's a perfect ending.
Like the last page is so good.
Oh my God, so good.
Yeah, it really just brought everything together. I think I never felt like, because this is like a one and done, right? There were 6 issues, I think, right?
Is this it? Is this all we're going to have?
Well, it does say Finn at the end.
No!
And it did wrap up.
Stop! No, I'm not done. What do I have to do to get more of this?
Well, I was just about to say, it was like the perfect amount, though, It
is perfect.
I mean, if you wanted to continue the character in another adventure, sure. Absolutely.
I'm in love.
But
I'm gonna recommend this to like literally this is going on the bracket for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Because this is my book. This is my favorite read so far of the year, which I haven't read that much, but this is my favorite read. Oh my God, so good.
Yep. Easy 5 stars. Everybody should read it.
Oh man. All the jokes.
Oh,
Dance stroke. I forgot. Dance stroke instead of Teen Deathstroke.
Yeah. Nice.
I won't spoil anymore, but
yeah, the good news is for those who care about this kind of thing and animal safety, that dog does not die. So yay for that. If we didn't go there, and that's perfect.
Yeah.
I need to know that before I read something. So
I would have gotten an angry call, I think.
Yeah, I'd be like, why did he do this?
We've had DC books that we've read where animals did die.
Oh my gosh.
That
sometimes
Catwoman
immediately,
book.
and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Perfection. I want some of these posters. I don't know if he's going to be selling these at LexCon, but I'm going to need one.
Oh, the poster
like
cover.
The covers, yeah. They're so good.
I think he's been bringing variants to shows that I've seen.
Well, I was like halfway on whether I was going to go to LexCon or not because like, man, it's so expensive to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be really silly to be like, I'm going to spend money to go there and buy this, but maybe I'll see if somebody else has a badge or whatever. I'm going to C2E2 also, so I'll be pretty busy. We're doing a panel C2E2.
I heard that. It's exciting.
Well, now I know officially. I didn't know before.
Okay.
Officially.
Nice.
Doing a panel.
Very cool. 10
out of 10. I need to go ahead and rate on Goodreads, but
yeah, do it.
10 out of 10. I still need to put in our Battle Royale reads. Not rate them, but
I rated it.
I rated like 2 monster lover books this week.
Nice.
There's monster romance books at Joseph Beth now. Things have changed. I don't know who was doing the buying and stocking.
Is there a section for that?
No, it's just spread throughout. But
oh.
I was very happy. I was like, wait a second. When did they get the time I got drunk and needed a love potion and a werewolf? They didn't have that there before.
Is that a manga title? Like
it feels like it, but
yeah.
Yeah, because they got that and some of the like. I wish I had some of the covers in here because there's like these thin ones that look like such a pulp romance. Like it's the covers that do it because it just looks so silly. Like Fabio could have been there, except if Fabio were like a gargoyle or something. I was stoked. I didn't buy it. I was like, I'm saving them as a treat.
Do you ever get comments at the checkout or anything?
I'm about to, because next time I go in there, I'm treating myself.
Yeah,
it's been a week.
Oh, so you've just been looking at them there.
I've been looking at them.
I got you.
But when I go in, I'm going to buy a thing and then just see.
Do it.
Yeah. I've never gotten to buy one in the wild before.
Oh, that's fun. You have to like special order them.
Yeah, I've got to order from Amazon or someplace or like the people directly because Yeah, none of the bookstores here carry them. Like, I see other people that go on TikTok and they're like, here's this monster romance section of Barnes and Noble. We do not have that. So to see any of these books here, I'm like, I was like, what is happening? It's like 3 different like stories that they had.
Wow.
Because they carry Iceland Barbarians, which is like girls' entry. And I did the next one with the series, guys. Her name is Maddie, so I am stoked.
There you go.
End of May, I'm gonna have a book for me. She's a big girl like me. She is blonde.
Points off for that, right?
Yeah, she can't be perfect, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, fair.
I just gotta write my own, I guess. I don't have the money, Jessica. Or else I would. I thought about it.
It's a good deal.
But man, that pug, medical bills for pets is too much.
Yeah, I know that life.
Now he's got diabetes, which was not funny that day. But then later the next day when everything was fine, the whole diabetes it felt okay then when I got that response about it. Because at first I was like, don't. Because Elliot's like sent me that meme. I was like,
Are you already giving him shots?
I'm a pro now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's like super easy. But we now have to take him places with us with the insulin because I'm like, I just make sure I get it to him at the right time.
Sure.
So he's doing well.
I'm glad he's doing good.
We got him a little belly band diaper thing. It looks really funny.
Oh.
Got like camo and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, I'm just ranting. I'm not ranting. I'm just talking a lot. What's up, people in the chat? What's happening? What's new? What's happening in Stock Trays this week?
What is happening there? I've not looked.
Ooh, Dark Knight's Death Metal Omnibus. I have wanted to read that, but I wanted to read it all together, like in an omnibus.
Why don't you show the people?
You know what?
And by that I mean I want to see.
Yeah, let's look together. That's my favorite thing we do. Talk about books. How about books you want to buy? Okay, let's go to the top. So we got these. I love this cover. Oh. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
Some Jean Grey, Flames of Fear.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. But actually, no, I'll click it. Let's look. Amateur novelist Bam moves to a new cheap place. He's shocked to find it's already occupied by the ghost of a high school girl.
Oh.
With one amnesiac ghost girl, Akko, haunting the apartment. The stories practically write themselves. But as the days pass and they get closer, he starts wondering exactly who she is and what she is to him. Oh, from the author of Horimiya. Horimiya is so good. It's really good.
Wow. Oh, cool. You should read it.
Add to list. Let's see. We got some Art of Jedi Survivor. I like that game. Let's go into the new. We should get the coming soon. If that sounds fun.
Sure.
So that's really the new releases. Cheerful amnesia, better than sad amnesia. Good deal.
Yeah, nice.
Happy to hear it. I'm saying. Nothing I see that's really familiar. Free Ren. Oh my god. Kristan's so good. I think you can read that on Shonen Jump. I'm not sure, but if you can, I recommend that.
Okay.
If you need something to read. It's definitely super good. Suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town.
It's too much.
Stop it.
It's too much.
Just stop doing it. Oh yeah, the new Milestone Compendium. Very excited about that.
You need that.
I do. My Happy Marriage. I've watched the anime. It's very good. This girl's like, she has a really crappy life, but a special psychic ability, apparently. And she gets betrothed to this man, and they think that like they've heard he's really awful, but they end up falling in love with one another. And then her family gets upset and tries to kidnap her back, and there's this whole deal. But it's very sweet. It sounds like a lot. It's very sweet. Grimm was fun. It's good to know.
I've been meaning to read that. Our buddy Steven loves it.
Rat Queen's Omnibus. I want to read Rat Queens. I need to look up all the stuff and then figure out if I have to do that like legitimately or not. You know what I mean?
I believe it's the artist who was kicked off the book.
Yeah.
So the later volumes in that, I don't
Okay.
believe have him.
Trying to feel like if it's a good idea if the omnibus or not. I just really want. I love a D&D group, you know.
It's limited to 5,000 units, Maddie.
Oh, and look, they're old on here. That looks great.
And that's the DCBS exclusive variant.
Oh, I want it. We'll see. I need to do more, take more photos to make more money, but that means I have to edit more photos and have less time to do anything. A new Witch Hat Atelier kitchen for Jessica.
Nice.
And for me, I haven't looked at the kitchen books, but...
And new yokai cats. I'm so behind on it. I need to get them.
So good. I guess oh, so doing book 1 of Batman and Robin. I guess because they're like no one can get the omnibus because it's off price. Let's look at because I'm not saying anything we have to get. The Great Gatsby, but as a graphic novel.
Well, do we want to wait until next week and we could do a whole coming soon situation?
That's true. That's true.
In fact, we could do that and not the book we planned. Huh?
That's what you want to do. We can.
Huh? I feel like we could do a whole episode on that. That's what I mean, because there's so much coming soon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's do that. Because then, but where do you recommend looking for stuff that's coming soon? Like,
I look at previews all the time. We can look at Ice-T. The dates, they don't update it.
Oh, yeah.
But it will show us what's coming eventually.
Okay.
So we could look at that, but we could also go through previews.
That works for me.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Man, I wonder if any of these Star Trek Deep Space Nine books are good. Also, because there's dogs here. This is my favorite Star Trek.
Oh, look at that doggy.
Look at those dogs. No pug.
So
that's okay. But there's a corgi. So, that's still good. Because I would like to read some of the Star Trek stuff. And I need to know who this lady is. Because she looks real cool.
Add that to your cart.
Meta Barons. I don't know anything about Meta Barons. It looked really cool though. I'll show the cover. Tell us about Meta Barons. What's this? This looks like sci-fi fantasy. The Meta Baron once single-handedly brought the techno empire to its knees. In the chaos that followed, however, a new regime has taken hold, one that has seized control of the rare and vital fuel for intergalactic travel known as the Epiphyte. But it's not just a new empire he must contend with. A threat within his own family is coming for him. The art looks cool. So, we're gonna be, so on Tuesday, you want to do just the looking at what's coming?
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I think we could do a whole darn thing on that.
Whole darn thing.
Whole darn thing.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Wonderful.
You got a show today? What's next for this Kristan Sunday?
Nothing
relaxing,
today.
Chilling out, relaxing.
Yeah, nothing today. Just doing stuff around the house.
Yeah.
The boring stuff nobody wants to do. Yeah,
my plan is to edit more photos and watch more Avatar: The Last Airbender because I'm really digging it.
Good deal. Love that for you.
Maybe get some reading in. We'll see.
Cool.
Hope everybody has a really good rest of your day.
Yeah.
We have a good chill Sunday, and we'll see. So we're doing Tuesday instead. So Tuesday at 6.
That's fine with me. Yeah.
All right. Works for me. Sounds
cool. Good. We will be here. Check it out.
See ya. Bye.